This episode is not sponsored, but we encourage you to help support the small businesses, charities, and organisations that we mention.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Our Circle. I'm Rhiannon.
And I'm Jess.
And welcome everyone, season 2. Finally,
Yay.
We are actually recording together. We're not filming it. It's just easier, still. But we're back. So welcome for anyone who hasn't joined us before, and thank you for anyone who is joining again. It's been a little while. I'm going to take a bit of credit for that. I just wasn't ready to record yet, and I think we wanted to make sure we had the right setup to be able to record together in person. And also, I guess before Christmas, we weren't even sure what lockdown could have been looking like at all those sorts of things. So we are recording together, we are here, we're back.
We're back with a fresh look as well.
Yes.
If you follow our Instagram
Yes.
and all our social media at Our Circle Podcast.
Yes.
Then you'll see that we've got quite a different look now. And I think it just kind of represents our fresh outlook on season 2, because I think we're going for a kind of slightly different vibe. As much as we really enjoyed speaking to so many people from so many different walks of life, we kind of want the focus of season 2 to be about us.
It's just about us.
Yes, it's our podcast.
Our circle.
But I think I really enjoy personally like our conversations that we have. And actually the feedback that I've got from people messaging me being like, I've really enjoyed that episode where the two of you were talking about something, because we do get, there are certain things we get a bit passionate about.
But also that's no disrespect to our guests as well. Everyone enjoys those completely.
And we'll still have guests.
Yes.
We've already recorded one episode with a guest coming up. So yeah, I mean, everyone's still welcome in our circle.
But we just realised that to make a true reflection of our circle, it should probably be a bit more about our thoughts as opposed to just asking about everyone else's thoughts. But this is kind of weird. I'm like sitting asking you.
We're looking into each other's eyes. Like, this is so weird how we're not doing it through a screen. But it's really nice. I'm really enjoying it.
Especially like the no makeup element.
Oh my god!
I literally
I was waiting for you to come around, and I was like, I texted you beforehand saying, so are we doing a visual recording, because I haven't put makeup on just in case. No. I was anticipating we're just gonna be audio,
but we are back. And sorry it's been a little bit of a break, but we hope everyone's had a good Christmas period and New Year period, and that 2022,
that's where we are. We feel like we've missed out 2 years of our lives. Like, it just feels so strange, the fact that we're in 2022.
I feel like it's weird to say 2022. It's just a bit of a tongue twister. I feel like 2020 and 2021 were 1 year. Like, they were just a really long, grueling, merged year. Sorry.
We promise this we're going to pick it up. But how do you feel about the new year? Like, do you feel hopeful? Do you?
I think I do, you know, and it would almost seem a bit contradicting considering like the pain I've been in the last few weeks. Just again, not to bring the mood down, but I haven't been good over the Christmas period. My mental health's been very, very low, very bad, and over the last couple of weeks it started to pick up. Like, I've started to feel a bit better. I've gone back to therapy, so I think all of those sorts of things contributing are like, oh, you know, life is good. And 2022 could be a good one for me, so I do feel a lot more hopeful, and I think getting back into podcasting and I don't know, just general work is going to help. So so far I think I feel hopeful. How about you?
I think I feel the same as you. Like, I think Christmas period was really tough, and I think that's just because it's generally quite overwhelming, and I see the Christmas period as like almost like a kid's holiday, like for me, because I remember the excitement as a kid. I absolutely loved Christmas. It was all about, I didn't have to do anything. I think that's what it was. It's like, you're there to enjoy it as a kid. But now my life is completely different, and I'm, you know, I had my grandparents come and stay, so I was thinking about hosting for them, and then, you know, kind of being the one who organises things in my little family now. It's like, you have this newfound appreciation for how much work, how much money, everything that goes into Christmas, and you're like, wait, I need to take a minute to sit back and actually try and enjoy this as much as I can without kind of stressing about the little details that really don't matter. Like on the day itself, it's like no one cares if, you know, I don't know, a certain present isn't wrapped, or like I was constantly worrying like, oh, have I got, like, it sounds so, this is first world problems completely, but like, have I got enough little things for Mila that, and it's like, she's 2. Like,
I feel like that
relax.
with my parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're in their 50s. They don't care either.
Yeah, and it's
just...
like, as adults, like, you'll get whatever you want anyway, like, if you've got the means to do it.
That's the thing as well. I think for my brother and I, we always told my parents we've been doing it for years now, we do Secret Santa in our family, because we're just like, we kind of care more about the food. So can we make sure we've got funds for food, not for presents? Yeah. Because if I need anything, I buy it, like, for myself. In the most non, I don't know how to, you know, like, I'm not trying to sound like I've got loads of money. I don't. But like, as in, if I need something, I've usually saved enough to be able to afford whatever I need. Same as my brother. And it's nice to be able to treat one another, of course. But I just think, do you know what? Each get one present, and then food. That's all we care about in our family. And don't get me wrong, I know that doesn't work for everyone. That's not like everyone's thing, and that's absolutely fine. But for us, like, it's just less stress. Yeah.
So I think that whole Christmas period was a little bit stressful, and then I remember our girls group chat just went silent for like weeks,
which is so not like us.
No, we usually, like, pretty much every day, like, something's going on.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily everyone is talking on the chat every day, but someone is usually me.
Yeah, or like sending like a link or like a TikTok or something.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went silent, and it was just kind of this universal feeling of like, we all need a break, and that means,
and not even from each other, just like just catch a break in
because
general.
Like, I've been reading stuff recently, because I follow a lot of mum stuff, obviously.
Right.
It's about your break and your free time does not need to be spent on anyone else. So like, even if I have a spare moment from Mila, it's like, no, you take that as your own. It doesn't mean in that time you need to respond to everyone's WhatsApp messages that have built up over the weeks, and you're just like, oh my God, I need to respond to these, but when have I got the time to do it?
Yeah.
So it felt like that over Christmas. It felt overwhelming to have to catch up with everyone. Like, when everyone asks how things going, it's like, I just don't want to have to talk about it.
I kind of just felt like when people are like, oh, like, catch me up, I hate that question. I've hated that question for the last 2 years. If anything, I've hated it for the last 5 years since uni. Like, I just hate being asked, like, oh, what are you up to? What are you doing? It's like, what? I barely know myself. Like, and then and if I'm not doing well as well, it's just sort of, obviously depending on who it is. If it's you asking, then I'm happy to be like, oh, I'm shit. But you know, like, it's also like reading the room. Like, if I know that someone's not doing well, I don't really want to be saying all the negative things I've been feeling or whatever, which I guess is not healthy in some ways, but you know what I mean. Again, it's reading the room. I don't know, it's just weird, isn't it? Like you said, that universal thing where everyone is feeling that sort of struggle. And I think also, I've never been someone who gets affected by things online, but I think towards the end of last year I started getting really pissed off just because everyone had memories. They were like, oh, 2021, what was it? Not catch up or throwback or wrapped up, something like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, you have memories? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I've done nothing the past 2 years to have been just so like fearful and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, it's just that weird grey area, I think, from because we're still in the pandemic, but we're in the phase where it's like, you decide now how you conduct yourself and what rules you can follow. So it's just sort of like,
I think I'm feeling like I'm like dipping my toe into like freedom again.
Yeah, and it's
but
terrifying.
Cautiously. Like, it's terrifying because in the past couple of weeks, like, I've been out. I had plans. Like, this is so weird.
And they're like set plans as well.
It was like, okay, dinner this night, and then the next night, we go. I had 4 days in a row that I ate out. Like, who do I think I am? I was clearly making up for the past couple of years. But and it felt really, really strange. It felt unnatural. It was like,
it does. You feel like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I was like constantly testing and like, you know, just trying to convince myself it's okay. And it's like, no, hang on, I am allowed to do this. I'm taking the measures to be safe, and that's kind of what the rules are, is you do
absolutely
continue life, but do it in a cautious way. And I think it's been really good for me actually to push myself, because I've actually been really enjoying myself and going out, and I think that's why I feel quite hopeful going forward.
Do you feel like as well, because you did it all in like 4 consecutive days, did you feel like, to me, if I have one plan in a week, that's enough. I'm like, oh, okay. Whereas if I've got more than one, I'm a bit like, oh my god. Like today,
it was exhausting.
Today I went and got a lash lift, first time ever. Kind of scary experience, not gonna lie, but happy with the result. But I was like, okay, now I've got to get to Jess's. Okay, but then I had to just remind myself, I was like, I'm only going to this town, which is right next to this town, which is right next to my town. What am I freaked out over? It's just like, because it's no longer the norm. Or it hasn't been for
and that
a long
wouldn't
time.
have been something that worried you pre-pandemic.
Never.
Yeah.
I would have probably fit 5 things into a day pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
And yet trying to do 2 things in one day, or 2 things in a week, I'm a bit like, ooh.
It's kind of this build up to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Calm down. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, I always feel like I have to space things out, because it's like, it's almost the, I suppose because before, if you were meeting up with one person, when it was really like a scary time or something, you would test, and then if something might have been wrong, it's like, okay, well, at least I've left it a few days where we haven't seen someone, so I can now do another thing. Whereas now it's like, just test, and it's fine, and then go ahead. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting past it though.
Yeah, I think so. I am too.
I feel like I'm dragging myself for sure. There's 2 parts of me. The other part that's like, oh my god, I'm so scared. And the other part that's like, I want to live. Like, come on.
Exactly. It's kind of this constant battle. But it's like what you said with me doing that all in one go. It felt like, what's it called? It's like exposure therapy, where it's like, if someone's scared of spiders, you like put them in a room
you would
filled
hate that.
with, oh my god, it would be my worst nightmare. But apparently that's like a way to get over like a phobia, is to like completely.
Do you know what though? I think you'd have to pay me a lot of money, like, because my brother was playing something the other day. He was I can't remember why we were playing. It was something to do with. Do you know who Mr. Beast is? He's a massive YouTuber.
No, I don't.
But okay, so it was this like compilation video of the most extreme things that he's got people to do for money, because he's got so much money, and he does these weird competitions where, for example, getting into a bathtub filled with snakes, how long can you stay in there, or the longest person staying in there or something gets something like 100 grand, something like that.
Right.
And there was some of them, I was kind of looking at each other and we're like, you can't pay me enough. Like,
is this the guy who did the Squid Games thing?
Yes.
Oh my god, him, yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Okay, so there was certain.
How's he got money? Is it literally from making these videos?
Probably, yeah,
Oh
like
my God.
YouTube and endorsements and stuff. But there's just certain things that I just don't think you could pay me to do, and I think snakes for me is a big one. Whereas spiders, I think I could do. Whereas I think
I'm
you'd
the
probably be the
opposite.
other way around.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I just don't get what the purpose of snakes are. Like, I get that spiders have a
they've got a
purpose.
function, haven't they?
Yeah, and like I get that spiders don't want to hurt you, or like it's literally like a defense thing. Whereas snakes, I'm like, they want to eat me probably, so I don't want any part of it. How are we on this?
I don't know.
Oh wait,
it's because I said exposure
therapy. Sorry.
What a tangent. Yeah, but I think another thing that was kind of happening over the holidays that we've spoken about before is how we've seen a lot of announcements going on, like personal announcements.
So I've got nothing against this. I love that everyone's got so much great stuff, but I've got it down to a science. Like Liv and I, one of our friends, we were counting how, because it was happening so often, but like there was a little space in between. I was like, how long do you reckon it is? And she's like, let's time it. It's about every 3 weeks. I think we're now just at the age where, you know, people either get married or they've got pregnancies or they've bought a house or some sort of announcement, and it's every 3 weeks. It is more increased since Christmas, because Christmas just happens, and you've got Valentine's Day and March. You know that March there's going to be announcements, because that's the 3-month period since Christmas. So there's going to be pregnancies. So it's just like everything, and I'm just like, wow, this is just constant.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I sort of noticed as well, or not even noticed, but I was just like, this is an interesting thought, and I wondered what you thought about it. It was the way that people do announcements, because some people just might be like, I'm pregnant, or like, you know, just come straight out there. Some people pull a Kylie Jenner and they're like, I have a baby. You didn't even know that they were pregnant, sort of thing. Or, you know, they might do different photos. And I just wondered if you've got maybe preferences, or like, do you like any of those sorts of announcements, or especially like gender reveals? I mean, I'm not a fan of those at all, but I like that people get excited for their own
any
thing.
excuse for a party, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it just depends. Like, people just have a lot going on behind closed doors, I guess. Like, maybe some people are so, like, fearful throughout their pregnancies that they don't want to reveal it until the baby's actually there.
Oh, I think I'd be like that.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think maybe that anxiety behind it. But I don't know, maybe because I've been through it, it just evokes such a happiness in me to the point where I'm, like, on the brink of tears for someone that I went to school with years ago and never really spoke to.
Oh my god, no, I'm always like that. I cry. I'm like, oh my god, this is so great. Yeah, and then I'm like, I've not spoken to you in at least a decade.
We don't really know each other, but...
Oh my god, I cry at random, you know, on For You page, whatever it's called, suggested. I don't know what it's called on Instagram, but the one where it's like things that you might like.
Yeah.
And
mine's filled with babies.
Babies and dogs is what I have.
yeah.
And I feel like, what is it lately? It's been babies, dogs. It's been a person, but I can't remember who. I think, you know, like when you see an actor or something and then you've looked or liked at one thing and then it keeps coming up. For a long time it was the Eurovision guys. I don't remember who it is now. But yeah, I just wondered if you were to have another baby, do you think you would want to do some sort of big announcement this time round?
I think I'd do something with Mila.
Oh, cute.
You know, like how people, if they're having a second baby, get their
like big
current baby to hold like a whatever the ultrasound thing is. But I wouldn't I don't think I'd do a gender reveal. I liked how I did it last time, where I found out, did like a video or called whoever and sent it to like my close friends, and then a little bit later in the day I put it on Instagram. And I feel like I don't want to do a big lavish party. Like, I say that now.
Explosions.
Who knows?
Yeah, you're like, Ray, I need you to hold the confetti cannon. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know, but we're not there yet. That's not on the cards for 2022, I don't think.
What do you think of engagement announcements? Do you feel like if you got engaged, you would want to share it with everyone straight away? Or do you think you'd want it just a time with you and Joe? Or maybe you'd like call your parents and be like, I'm engaged, but I'm not telling anyone yet, sort of thing?
Yeah, I think the latter, what you said. I think, so one of my close friends got engaged over the Christmas period. And he doesn't really use social media, but his girlfriend left it like a few weeks. So I guess what they did was sort of, again, tell their close friends and family, and then decided to share it. And it was in such a low-key way. It was almost like Where's Wally type thing. Like you see a photo and you like, oh wait, there's a ring there, like what? And then it's like a slight little emoji that, you know, it's not like we're engaged. It was like really subtle, but it was kind of like highlighting that moment, that big life event. I quite like that. It was just kind of like very, very cool. Like just like, oh yeah, by the way, like this is happening in my personal life. But I think I'd do something like that.
You've always liked people who do that, like as in when you have no idea what's going on in their life and then suddenly they'll post something random, like I had no idea that was going on.
Yeah, but I think that's just real life, isn't it? Like you've no idea what's going on in someone's life and then suddenly they post that and you're like, whoa. No, it's exciting. I think I'd like to do it that way. What about you? What would you do?
If I was engaged?
Yeah. Would you be like, shout it out to the world or?
Probably not. I think knowing me, like, it's so funny actually, before I came here, I don't even remember how this came up in conversation, but I was in the car with our friend Chloe and we were talking about if I was to get engaged. Again, I have no idea why. I can't remember the thread for how I got to that, but this is going to sound weird. I feel like I'd be the type of person where I would need a partner who'd be like, we're getting married. Like, I wouldn't necessarily be asked.
Right.
And because I feel like I would be the type of person who'd be like, I don't want to get married. Like, or I don't know, I'd just freak out. So I'd be like, okay, when? Sort of thing. And you would know that I'm married. Like, I don't think people would know that I was engaged.
Right.
Like, so, as in my friends, like, I'd tell you, I'd be like, so-and-so said that we're going to get married, and I'm like, okay.
So you wouldn't do the whole, like, I want to enjoy my engagement. It's more like, oh, we're getting married, like, pretty soon after that.
Maybe, yeah.
Not even a discussion was had, but you were being told.
It sounds weird, doesn't it? But I feel like, because I don't really see me as someone who'd want a big wedding. Or if I was to have a big wedding, I would need the type of wedding that I want first, which would be just like...
low-key.
Like, yeah, like literally me in like a two-piece suit or something, you know what I mean? Like a pantsuit in a courthouse or something with all my closest girlfriends in really cool pantsuits. Like, that's what I love. Or no one else, literally just the two of us sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, because then I would feel like I wouldn't be terrified to do a big thing. You know, like when some people have the massive wedding and that's the moment they're getting married.
Yeah.
I would feel terrified. I don't know why. Is that weird?
No, there's like, I think a lot of people get cold feet, don't they? Or they get that anticipation for that huge... Like, if you're already married on paper, then that kind of takes away
exactly.
that...
I'm such a nervous Nelly. I'm so nervous all the time for things. So it's like, don't ruin a really good day for me. I'd rather it be like a really like cute, intimate thing that's just like, yay, I can do this. Or like, yay, we're married. But no one knows. And then I can just enjoy the wedding day and actually look cool and calm and collected without being a full...
You have less to think about then, don't you?
Absolutely.
And it's just a party,
I wouldn't care. I'd be like, oh, doesn't matter, we're already married.
Yeah.
So if anything went wrong, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
In theory.
We'll see when we get there.
Oh, good luck to whoever that is.
Oh, I love the idea of us all standing there in different coloured pantsuits.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'd love it. You know,
I'd be green.
Yes, you would. What's the... who was it? Emily Ratajkowski. Her wedding is my ideal wedding.
Oh my god, how cute's her baby? Can't get over. Have you seen pictures?
I think I saw one, but not properly.
He's so chubby and
cute.
sweet. Yeah.
But yeah, I just like the idea of something cool and calm for me. And then if my partner wants to have something big, I'll be like, cool, but you've got to marry me first before we do something crazy, because I just need some sort of build up. But this is me talking as a nervous Nelly now who's been in lockdown for 2 years. Who knows, maybe by then I might be an absolute wild person.
Full 180.
Yeah, like, a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, because I was thinking, what about your hen?
Oh,
when are you going to fit that in?
That's different. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so
when are we going to get to have the margaritas and the tequila shots?
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, and I'm putting this out there so that in the universe it happens, I've always said, like, this sounds bad, it's almost like I want a bigger hen do than I do a wedding, but I've always said I want 3 days in Vegas and I want a week in Cabo.
Yeah.
To
recover?
To recover.
Yeah.
Recover, but also... Oh, who was it? It was yesterday. I was watching an interview. I think it was Chelsea Handler. Do you ever watch her?
No. I know she is.
Yeah, she was saying that she likes to incorporate all the things she loves into one thing. So she loves drinking and she loves skiing. I'm like, that's dangerous, but okay. But she was like, I feel like... what did she say? Margarita juice... little top-ups every day is a good thing. I was like, oh, I could really get on board with that. Just little like top-ups. So that's what I want for Cabo.
I'm so on board for that.
Yeah. So okay, so the guy can, or the girl, or whoever can tell me that we're getting married, I'll be like, fab. I need, how many would I need? 3 days plus a week. What's that? I need 10 days. Notice first. But then I also feel right. Okay, so there is some theory here, because I've also always said, if I was to get married, you've got to do it 6 weeks before, after the hen do, or the batch thing, because say if you break anything, you've got healing time.
Oh, okay. That's quite clever. But you're also anticipating injuring yourself.
I'm being realistic. So, you know, that's me.
Right, so we've got the vibe for what kind of hen do we're having.
Yeah, whereas I feel like yours will be, as in, your engagement will be in New York.
Can you hear that, Joe?
And then I feel like you'll want to plan a wedding. Like, I feel like your mum will want you to plan I feel like both of your families will want you guys to have a really sort of big wedding.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this in the previous podcast before, but I've never like been someone to imagine what my wedding's going to be like.
There will be so much alcohol.
That's one thing actually. I said I wanted a free bar, but that takes a lot of saving.
It'll be free for us, but not for you.
I don't know. We'll see when we get there, but I'm quite content right now with life. So, but anyways, so let us know how you're doing so far in 2022.
Yeah, let's hear some good stories.
Yes, positivity, please.
Or even if it's some weird stories, I'm down for that too.
Oh my god, weird stories, please send those in. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 1 of season 2, and we'll be back really soon with episode 2.
Definitely. Please make sure to like and subscribe. We're on everything. I feel like there's no point in us listing off everything. You guys know it all. It's in the description. But please make sure to follow, like and subscribe. The dedication for today's episode, I think it's fitting because I got my lashes done today. I want to dedicate it to Lashes and Brows by Gemma. It's a friend from school who does amazing lash lifts. She does brow lamination, microblading, eyelash extensions, all of that great stuff to make you feel all pretty and good for the new year. New vibes, new year. So please make sure to follow her. It's lashesbrows.gemma. The information will be on the screen and the links will be in description. But yeah, thank you very much for listening to our first episode back, and tune in for our next one.
Bye.
Bye.